All right. Now, the next thing, we're going to add and subtract these rationals, so fractions. Now, for this, the most important thing you got to remember is that they have to match. They have to be the same. So for the number part here, we got to find the LCD between 5 and 6. The LCD is actually the same thing as the LCM, least common multiple. And it's 30. Here, yeah, you could just multiply them by each other. That'd be fine. That'll work every time, but sometimes that'll make more work for yourself than is necessary. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So I need to make these match completely. So I'm going to turn them both into 30. But the bottom of the first one, since it needs to match the second one, also needs an M. Now, when you get a common denominator for a fraction, whatever you do to the bottom, you got to do to the top. 6 times 3 is 18. M times M, M squared. And on the bottom, 6 times 5, 30. Just bring that M along. The second one, to turn into a 30, we need to multiply by 5. Now we can add them, but I can't combine, so I just put them over one fraction. And number 2, to make these match, well, the 6's are the same. The first denominator has x cubed. The second denominator needs it. So I have to multiply top and bottom by x cubed. I didn't touch the first fraction. X times x to the third. You add the exponents. 2x to the fourth. I'm subtracting, but that has x to the first. That has x to the fourth. So I can't do anything. So I'll just put it together into one fraction. Number 3. Oh, excuse me on this one. I forgot to reduce this down. We can divide all these by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I don't need to write it down because I still have x to the fourth. There we go. All right. Now 3. All right. So we do have to do something with the numbers here. We got to get a common denominator for the numbers. Now I had said on number 1, technically we could just multiply them by each other. Multiply that by 6 and that by 3 to get 18. But it's quicker and it's easier if you notice, hey, I just multiply 3 by 2 to get 6. It's easier. And back on this one, we also needed the x cubed. So I multiply top and bottom by x cubed. 8x cubed minus 3, you can't combine that. So I just write it out again, but I'm going to put it in one fraction. Oh, all right. So on 4 here, well, we got more work to do. This one you got to multiply by 5 to get a 30. This one needs another n to bump it up to n squared, but we do have to multiply it by 6 as well. 5 times 4, 20. Bring the m with you over 30n squared. Plus 6 times 6 is 36. M times n we can't do, so we just write it down. Now 20m plus 36mn, we actually can't do anything with, since this one has an n and that one doesn't. So we'll just put them together into one fraction. There we go. 5. Oh, the numbers already match. All I need to do is multiply top and bottom by v. Hey, I can actually do something here. 6v minus 2v is 4v over 3v. Then we can just cancel these v's out. Number 6. Hey, they already almost match. I'll multiply this one by 2. Two minus 12 is negative 10 over 6x. And that's basically it, but you got to reduce that down. Divide those both by 2. Oops. Negative 5 over 3x. Number 7, we already have the 2's. Multiply by y to bump that up to y cubed. I can't combine a 6 and a y squared, so I just leave it like that. Oop, sorry. We can also divide those all by 2 to reduce it down. There. 8, 5, 10, 15. Yep, multiplying by each other will get us the lowest denominator. So I'll multiply this by 3. Now it also needs a v. 3 times 5, 15. V times v, v squared. Over here, multiplied by 5. Oops. Can't combine those, so you just rewrite them as 1. I can divide those all by 5. All right. Now, that last sheet, everything was a monomial, meaning we had no pluses and minuses like these. So it was quite a bit easier. This takes a little getting used to at first. Now, in order to see what we have to do, we have to factor. I'm going to factor this bottom right here. Six times 3 is 18. 6 plus 3 is 9. This is different than the other sheet that I just had up there. I got to make these match, the denominators. They already both have a factor of x plus 3, so that's already matching. However, the second one also has an x plus 6 that the first one doesn't. So that's what I'm going to multiply by. Now we have to distribute 5x times x is 5x squared plus 30x. I'm not going to do this out. It's kind of a waste of time to sit there and do the work anyway, because we just factored x squared plus 9x plus 18 into x plus 3 and x plus 6. So if I actually did this out, I would just get that trinomial right there. I'm just going to leave it as factors, though. There's no reason that we have to write it as the trinomial. I will, however, switch this to the x plus 6 first. Now they have a common denominator. Now I can add them. I can actually do stuff here, too. I can combine the 30x and the 3x. 30 plus 3, 33x. Like I said at first, this one's kind of challenging for people at first. Now 2. Now I got to factor this. And this is a tougher question. Six times 2 is 12. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. All right. Like I said, this one kind of stinks. The first one has 6p. It's missing both of these. So I have to multiply by this whole thing right here. Now I'm going to do this kind of off to the side here. On the top, though, I know this binomial times that binomial is the same thing as p squared minus 4p minus 12. That's what we did. We factored it. Just like 8 is 4 times 2, this trinomial is that binomial times that binomial. So they are the same thing. I'm going to write it like this. That way, I can do the distribution easier. So again, what I'm doing here is I'm multiplying this first fraction by the 2 factors that it's missing. So I get 3p squared minus 12p minus 36. But I'm going to leave the bottom factored. Now the second denominator has p minus 6 and p plus 2. It is missing 6p as a factor. So I'll multiply top and bottom by 6p, but this is a binomial, so I got to put parentheses around it. I just forgot to write that p down there. Now they're all matching. Again, I had the p up here, so everything's okay. I just forgot to write it there, so I caught myself and put it there. Now I can go ahead and I can combine like terms. 3p squared plus 6p squared is 9p squared. Negative 12 plus 24 is 12p. And I'm probably going to need some more paper here in just 1 minute. Now, and this is why I left the bottom factored, we have to see if we can factor the top. see if anything will cancel out, like when we were simplifying those other fractions. I can divide everything up here by 3. Oops, they're p's, not x's. And then this right here might be AC factor. Let's just take a look. 3 times, and again, we're going to forget about the LCD for now. We got 3 is A, negative 12 is C. 3 times negative 12 is negative 36. So we would need 2 numbers that multiply to negative 36 and subtract to 4. Combine to 4. Let's see. Oh, 18 minus 2 isn't 4. 12 minus 3 isn't 4. 9 minus 4 isn't. 6 minus 6. And we're good. This cannot be factored anymore. But we had to do that because now I can reduce that down 1 over 2. 1 times that whole thing is just that whole thing. And the bottom is factored. Now, I will finish this one in the next video. I will be right back.